Calvin Ridley. This is breaking right now. Unbelievable news. Calvin Ridley stepping away from football. And obviously we got to think about his well-being and first say we hope he's okay. But we have to tackle this from a fantasy football perspective. Calvin Ridley stepping away from football is a big blow to the fantasy football world. So health aside, wish him well. We got to tackle this. What do we do? I mean, there's not much you can do but hold on to him. No one's going to trade for this guy. And what's going on with him? We're going to break it down right now. Fantasy Football Show begins now.
This is the Fantasy Football Show with your host, Smitty.
Top 5 running back. You're watching the Fantasy Football Show. I'm Smitty. Take a lap.
Horrible news hitting fantasy football. One of the top 10 wide receivers in fantasy football, you could call him top 5 to 10, is stepping away from football. He's not playing anymore this season. We're thinking maybe he comes back, maybe he doesn't, maybe he plays in a few weeks, maybe he never plays again. We don't know. What we do know is that he released a statement. Let me find the statement that he released, and I'll put it on screen. But Calvin Ridley is stepping away from football for the time being. Calvin Ridley's statement, let me find that and put it on screen here. Devastating blow to fantasy football. Let me put this image and graphic on screen for you here. I mean, this is a big blow. This is a guy that a lot of us have in our top, I would say top 6 to 10 for fantasy football. Go forward, even in Dynasty. I mean, he's not an old guy. He's what, 27? And here's his statement right here from Calvin Ridley. It reads, "These past few weeks have been very challenging, and as much as I'd like to be on the field competing with my teammates, I need to step away from football at this time and focus on my mental well-being. This will help me be the best version of myself now."
Someone is at the front door.
Ziggy, not now. We're in the middle of breaking news, pal. This will help me be the best version of myself now and in the future. I want to thank my teammates, the entire Atlanta Falcons organization, our great fans, my friends, and my family for all their support during this time. So this is brutal. This is from Calvin Ridley. He's stepping away from football. This is not a statement you make if you're stepping away for 1 or 2 games. I would say he's probably done for the year, and then maybe he revisits this in the coming season. He could be done entirely. We don't know. In Dynasty, you can't cut him. In redraft, you can only hold him. I assume there'll be some sort of IR spot open up for you if you have IR spots. I don't know what this means for IR. I don't know, like, does he just become deactivated? Like, I don't know how it's going to reflect in your fantasy roster in terms of your IR spot or what you can even do with him. But I'm sure most people will cut him, and I can understand why. You don't know if you're going to get him back. You can't hold him. There are decent guys you can pick up and put on your roster that can help you now. I would say hold off maybe a week and find out what what his eligibility is going to be looking like in your league. Every league's going to be different. You know, and I hate to be like critical or hate to come down on this in any way that makes it look like I'm not worried about Calvin Ridley's mental health. Like, you know, his health comes first. I get it. It is a blow, though. This is a huge blow, and we've got to talk about the fantasy implications and just, you know, what do you do? What do you do? It's disappointing. It's extremely disappointing. And this is a guy that you had in your top 6 to 10, I'm sure, for wide receivers going forward. I have him in a few leagues, and this sucks. It does. You know, I wish him well. I hope he finds his way and gets to where he needs to get mental health wise. But we have to look at it from a different angle. We're not, we set our piece on that, but we need to, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do with the spot on our roster that is now going to be vacant due to Calvin Ridley? What does this do for the other Falcon players? Kyle Pitts, it certainly elevates his game, pushes him into the spotlight even more, matures his game along faster. He's going to become more depended on and evolve quicker. I think he's going to be probably a top, 3 to 4 tight end moving forward, locked and loaded, in my opinion, given the volume share he's going to get. Cordero Patterson, I mean, he's the number one. He's the number one. Where do you rank Cordero Patterson moving forward? I mean, the implications here are like 5 degrees deep. Interested to know what you guys think. I'm going to throw your comments on the screen. Uzi wants to know if he drops Calvin Ridley. I mean, I would hold on to him right now in case this is a stepping away from football at this time, meaning 2 or 3 weeks. We may get more clarification, I think, heading into next week and maybe into, Wednesday or Thursday. Right now, I probably wouldn't cut him. I'd hold him and see what happens in your league, too, as far as where you can put him. Like, can you put him on an IR spot? I don't know what it's going to look like in your particular league. Prayers up for Ridley, says Harley. Yeah, I mean, of course, we want him to be okay. It doesn't mean people can't be frustrated either. I don't want people to come down on anybody in the chat if they're thinking about themselves and being selfish. Like, look, we do this for a reason. We play fantasy football for a reason. There's no shame in being upset or talking about the fantasy implications. I don't prescribe to that kind of thinking when people say, hey, Smitty, give it a minute to breathe. Why are you talking fantasy? Look, this is what I do. This is my job. This is why I'm here. You guys, I'm here for you. And my job is not to report on the status and escalation and well-being of players, mental health. Like, I'll address it, and I feel bad for them, and my prayers go up for them, of course. But we have to immediately start talking about business, man. This is a business, and it's fantasy football, and I gotta address it. And I don't blame anybody for being mad. Miles, I'm so mad. Come on. Miles is mad. I don't blame Miles for being mad. I don't judge you for being mad. I don't judge you for taking one moment and then talking about the fantasy implications. That's what we do. That's what we do. That's what we're going to continue to do. That's life. That's life. We play fantasy football. Business is booming, as Jay Webb said. We got to talk about it. Okay, so, we prayers up. We did that part. Now we're moving on. That's what we do. So Robert Woods and Devonte for Cordero Patterson. I don't know that I give up both for Cordero, but Cordero right now moving forward, weeks 9 on, Cordero's a low-end wide receiver 1 at a bare minimum. Cordero's the wide receiver 1. His opportunities aren't going away. Cordero Patterson's now the guy, the man, the wide receiver 1. Go forward for the Falcons, weeks 9 on. Appreciate the advice to sell high on Debo and buy Ridley and DJ Moore. I'm so screwed, says Keenan. Keenan, no one can tell when a guy is going to stop playing football out of the blue. Not to mention, you still have DJ Moore. So you bought Ridley and DJ Moore. You're going to be fine. DJ Moore's going to be fine. Debo Samuel, in my opinion, is lower ranked than DJ Moore from week 9 on. That's how I rank it. I'm not gonna knee jerk react to anything based on Debo catching a long pass today. That the touchdown part was called back, but he did have a nice ball and he did play well. Debo's got a nice stat line, but DJ Moore is still a better guy long term, in my opinion. Michael Carter, lost my week to Michael Carter, says Uzi. No Julio, no Ridley. That means Kyle Pitts will have defenses on him like paparazzi. I think he could have a lot of defensive attention, but I think Kyle Pitts is going to be good. I think Kyle Pitts is going to be good right away. Deshaun Watson going to Carolina. I don't know that anything's going to go down, pal. Sold Debo and Michael Carter for Ridley and Swift, and I think I took the L, sadly. I mean, as of right now, but bro, Miles, you couldn't have seen that coming. I mean, there were some concerns, like why did he have a personal day? But he returned. Like no one knew what was going on. You didn't have any of that information, bro. You can't be hard on yourself because you made that trade. Not to mention, you still got Swift. Like, you still could wash that trade. Debo and Michael Carter for Ridley and Swift. Swift could still be the best player in the deal. So don't give yourself an L too quickly. This is gonna rock fantasy football worlds. There are a lot of people that own Calvin Ridley. Colin, rewatch. We've been talking about it for 11 minutes. You might want to rewind it. It's on screen. Ridley stepping away from football. We don't know what's up. We don't know if he's ever going to come back. We don't know if he's gone for the year. Looks like he probably is. Jalen Hurts owner here. Time to start finding a replacement. We will have to reevaluate that in the coming days, but it wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock me if Philly benched him at any moment. Full time. That's the way Philly is. Let me get these games on here because I'm missing some action here. I just wanted to go live, talk about this situation. It's devastating. It's devastating. I've got Calvin Ridley in a number of leagues, and this is very, very bad news. Again, I already said it. I'll say it again. Prayers up for him. Hoping he's okay. Mental health is no joke. I wish him well, but we are moving on to talk about the fantasy implications, and we aren't going to stutter step and dance around it. Like that's where we're at. This is what we do, and it's time to break it down. And breaking it down ain't pretty because he's some people's wide receiver one. Up by 40 points, Eckler and CD left. Nice job, pal. Jets about to beat the Bengals. Let me get the red zone back on over here so I can keep up and make sure I'm not missing a beat here. Gainwell's nowhere to be found right now, which is madness. You've got the Titans up 31-24, 1 minute and 12 seconds left. Carson Wentz is looking pretty solid right now. He's playing some good football. Titans stopping that one. That looked like a pick. You got Josh Allen laying a dud all game long until recently, but Josh Allen's finally coming around in this one. Josh Allen so far today started off with like nothing in the first half, but Josh Allen now has 249 and 2 TDs, 7 carries for 48 yards, so he's looking pretty good. Stephon Diggs 5 for 40 and 1. Cole Beasley 10 receptions for 110. Cole Beasley had a day. Myles Gaskin nowhere to be found. You don't know when that guy's going to be used. It's crazy. It's crazy. What are we doing with Devonte Smith? A lot of available waivers. I don't know that I'm cutting them, but it depends on your options, man. If there's somebody sitting on waivers that has a lot of upside, like let's say a Tony, then you got to make a move potentially. So you got to take a look at that. Do I try and trade Ridley right now? You could, but who's going to take him, bro? He just declared he's not playing football. No one's going to give you anything for Ridley. If it's Dynasty, maybe, but in redraft, not a single soul is going to give you a single thing for Ridley. People are going to drop Ridley across most leagues. There's nothing you can do. I would say for Ridley, there's nothing you can do. You either hold him or you cut him in redraft. In Dynasty, you can't cut him. You hope that he gets this under control. Burrow, 259 and 3 TDs with 1 INT. Pittman with a first down. 51 seconds left. They're rushing to the line. Joe Mixon, 33 and a touchdown. Mixon also has 1 touchdown and 58 yards receiving. Higgins with a day, 4 for 97. Jamar Chase, only 3 catches for 32 yards, but he does have a touchdown. Michael Carter, 70 yards and a touchdown on the ground. 9 catches for 95 through the air. Michael Carter had a day. We're going to be talking about Michael Carter and what to do with him moving forward. What does his value look like for the future? Mike White is the future, says Zach F. Mike White looked pretty good. Mike White has he's 37 for 44, 3 TDs, 2 INTs, and he's leading his team to a potential win against the Browns. So I mean, yeah, there's some. Zach Wilson ain't going away. Oh, look at that grab. Wentz is playing like a beast. Pittman pulling in passes left and right. Yeah, Mike White. I mean, spark. Talk about a spark. Mike White. Who knows what happens with Zach Wilson? It's only one game, but I mean, this is special. We might be seeing someone emerge. We've seen quarterbacks emerge like this before. Oh, on the run. Look at this man. Josh Allen running in a touchdown. 3 TDs. Josh Allen being written off for dead by so many. After a dud of a first half, Josh Allen throwing 2 touchdowns, running 1 touchdown, coming back to life. 26-11. The Buffalo Bills are leading the Dolphins. Josh Allen now has 206. Josh Allen now has 249, 2 TDs, 0 INTs, 55 yards rushing, and a rushing touchdown. 3 total scores. Attaboy, Josh Allen coming back to life. Pittman is going nuts. Pittman is going crazy. Let's go to the Colts game. I want to look at the stats for Pittman right now. Pittman has A.J. Brown, 131 and a touchdown, 8 receptions. Having a day. Derrick Henry, not a good day on the ground. 26 carries for 69 yards and 2.7 a pop. 1 target, 0 receptions. Very bad day for Derrick Henry. Jonathan Taylor, so-so day for him. 3 catches for 52 yards, but he does have 65 yards on the ground, 4.6 a pop, but only 14 totes of that rock. Wentz, he even won. Oh! Flag on the 1. Colts going to get the ball on the 1-yard line. Wentz is looking solid right now, I have to admit. Michael Pittman pulling in 9 balls for 78 yards and 2 touchdowns so far in that game. I'm commentating toward right now. Pittman going crazy in this one. This is a weird Sunday morning. Let's just say that. Already went over the Joe Burrow Bengals and Jets game. What other games? Chargers game and the Patriots Chargers game about to kick off soon. Jaguars Seahawks. Let's see. What other scores can I go over? JT. JT's not in the game. I feel so bad playing Herbert over Pittman. I mean, it was a close call, pal. It was a close call at the time. And what is Herbert's stat line? Herbert isn't exactly doing awful. But let's go to Herbie's stat line. Niners winning that game 33-22. Good for the Niners. Good for Jimmy G. I still think that Trey Lance needs to be in there, but Jimmy G running in 2 touchdowns, 322 yards on the ground. Man, Michael Carter's just used all over the field. Eli Mitchell, 137 and a touchdown. Very, very good game for Eli Mitchell. Deebo Samuel, 6 for 171. Had a big day. Huge day. On the Khalil Herbert had 23 carries for 72 yards. Didn't have any receiving action. Well, he had 2 catches for -4. So Khalil Herbert definitely didn't have as good a game. I get it. If they place Pittman on IR for mental health, you don't mean Pittman, you mean Ridley. Could you stick him on your IR spot? I don't know. I don't know what it's going to look like with Pittman. I'm done with Matty Ice, says 28. What a day. What a day already. Crazy, crazy day. Horrible, horrible news. If you're just joining, Ridley is stepping away from football. We don't know how long. We don't know what that means. We don't know if that means he's stepping away for just the time being and will be back at some point this year. We don't know if that means that the dude will never suit up again. My guess is he will, if I had to guess, but maybe not this year. It sounds like maybe this year he's stepping away, and we'll reassess, next year. But who knows? He could change his mind. Players have done this before, where they need a little time, but it doesn't sound good. I mean, he's already stepped away once and then came back and then stepped away again. So I don't really know what's going to change for him. But definitely not good news. And I feel bad for anybody, including, all of us in here that have Ridley. I have Ridley in a couple leagues. Ridley's a good wide receiver. There's no reason to avoid him. And there's no way you could have seen this coming. I'm sunk for this year, says Shumley. I'm sorry, pal. Don't give up, but we can try and help you. Time to pick up Boston Scott. Definitely. I'm up 1,200 on DraftKings. Nice job, pal. You shouldn't say anyone is going crazy. Yeah, Brunson, I don't know who said that. I didn't say that. Is Bateman a good replacement for Ridley in non-PPR? I suppose. I mean, he's okay. Bateman's not anybody I absolutely love. Drop Boston Scott for Mark Ingram. Yeah, Boston Scott's looking like a pretty good play. Not to say that Gainwell won't eventually get in there. He could, but right now it's Boston Scott's show. Boston Scott is the guy they're leaning on. I mean, Smitty, what are your feelings on Jeff Wilson? Jeff Wilson's job is not Jeff Wilson's job anymore. It is Eli Mitchell's until Eli Mitchell gets banged up and gives Shanahan a reason, I think, to put to put Jeff Wilson in there. I think Eli Mitchell's got the job. He's a beast. You started Pittman over Chase Claypool and Tyler Lockett. Nice job, Jersey plug. That's a great play, pal. And we've got the Jets, man. This White kid is looking pretty good. I mean, the Jets have something special in White. He looks good. He looks really good. He looks poised. He looks good. The two INTs were like, okay, two INTs, but one of them was, I believe, the tip pass. He's looked good. His stats are unbelievable. This White character coming out of nowhere, marching this team down the field constantly, putting this team in a position to win. They're up 34-31 against the Bengals, a really good team. 1 minute and 32 seconds left. Joe Burrow's got 3 TDs, 259, having a good day. Joe Mixon's having a good day. And it's not like the Bengals are struggling. Mike White, 37 for 45, 405, and 3 TDs. 1 rush for 2 yards. Dude looks legit. You wonder. I just traded Fournette for Ridley. Sorry. Yes, I feel bad for you, pal. Yeah, Ridley stepping away. It sucks. I mean, again, we acknowledge. What's up, media? Yeah, Jimmy G did pretty good in this game, 49er media. I still don't think he's the guy for the job, but I mean, it was against the Bears, and I think Jimmy G handled himself well. Mitchell looks great. Mitchell's the man, pal. Mitchell, 137 yards and a touchdown. Was it 137? Looked fantastic. Debo with 170 through the air. Niners looking good. You guys got to feel really, really good about that. Feel really, really good about that game. But Ridley, we're talking about Ridley. It's crazy with Calvin Ridley stepping away from football for the time being. Who knows what that means, media. Awful, awful news. Herbert did have a couple big plays called back. What's going on, Smitty? What's the news on Ridley? Just got in. Ridley stepping away from football. Jordan, that is the news, unfortunately. We don't have any other information other than he's stepping away. Here's the report that we have. I put it on screen here a minute ago. I'll drop it on screen again here, and you can read along as I is it right here? Yep. Here it is. Ridley's statement is, these past few weeks have been very challenging, and as much as I'd like to be on the field competing with my teammates, I need to step away from football at this time and focus on my mental well-being. This will help me be the best version of myself now and in the future. I want to thank my teammates, the entire Atlanta Falcons organization, our great fans, my friends, and my family for all their support during this time. Horrible news. Again, we acknowledged already. Prayers up for Ridley. We wish him nothing but the best. We hope nothing but the best for him. But we are moving on to talk about it from a fantasy perspective. That is the reason I'm here. This is what my show is about. So, we addressed that part. I want to make sure everybody knows. Is it Tyler Lockett for a touchdown finally? Tyler Lockett exists, pal. He exists. But we have to address this, and what do we do? Do you cut him? In redraft, you might start thinking about that. I'd hold off for the moment and just kind of let the dust settle. In Dynasty, you can't cut him. In redraft, you can't trade him. No one's going to take him. No one's going to take him. No one's going to trade for Calvin Ridley. You're going to see him get cut in an enormous amount of leagues coming up this weekend. People don't mess around with that kind of stuff. They're just going to cut him. They're just going to say, I'm not wasting my time with this. He already sat out on me, came back, now he sat out again, and people are just going to release him. So you're not going to be able to trade him in redraft. In Dynasty, maybe, just hold him and see. Let the dust settle a little bit. No one's going to want to trade for him today in Dynasty. Give it some time. People might start getting itchy about, okay, maybe he's going to come back and I can get him low and cheap. Sure. This is one of the better talents in the NFL at the wide receiver position. It's a big blow to fantasy football. Yeah. Kadarius Toney or Collins. I mean, probably rather have Kadarius Toney rest of season, but he's questionable this week, and you don't know if he's going to play. So Collins has been banged up too, but I'd probably rather have Toney for the rest of the year. Horrible news, guys. Anyway, I'm probably going to jump. I just wanted to jump on here. I'm still not feeling great today. A little under the weather still. Whole family still is. But I wanted to get on here. Yeah, Collins is in there. And he looks okay. So, he's been banged up, though. But Toney was very, very questionable. And we had a lot of Toney and Collins questions, like should I start Collins, should I start Toney? And, if Collins played, he's probably the safer bet, than to wait on Toney. Ridley is a great talent. Hope he ain't out a while. That would suck, says Miles. He is a great talent. He's a top 6 to 10 wide receiver talent, but we may or may not see him ever return to that form. Once you step away from the game, too, it puts you at a disadvantage. And, let's say he steps away for an entire year and comes back. Let's say he doesn't even come back in week 1 next year. If he came back like mid-season, he wouldn't be up to par. There's a chance, he never returns to form ever again. There's that shot. You got to prepare for that. Stay strong, Smitty. Really appreciate the grind. Thank you, media. Hit the like button. 42 in the room, 26 likes. Thank you, Jordan. I appreciate that. Yeah, guys, please hit that like button on your way out. Please ask a question if you need anything answered, especially as it relates to Ridley and any news we got here today. I'll try and do my best to answer the comments when I post this video, and the video's up on YouTube for your replaying pleasure. Although this isn't going to be a very pleasurable video because this is horrible news. And we don't have... Today's a bad day in general. There are a lot of dud players this week so far in the morning games, afternoon games kicking off. It's been an awful Sunday morning with the Ridley news, with a bunch of players dropping goose eggs. Some of the best talent in fantasy football dropping duds. You got Derrick Henry doing very little. You had Jamar Chase looking like a good game was going to be in store, and then it wasn't. JT didn't exactly go nuts. There are a lot of players that underperformed today, and then this Ridley news on top of it. It's just horrible. Let's reconvene. At the moment, let's see, Tennessee. I don't know. Derrick Henry's not in there. I know Derrick Henry he had his cleat off and he was walking around, and it looked like he was hurt a little bit, and then he went back into the game and played the remainder of the game, I think, up to this point. But now Derrick Henry's out. I know they're passing it. I know it's overtime. They're passing the football. That could be why he's on the sideline. But I don't know if Derrick Henry's banged up a little bit with that foot or ankle. We'll find out. We'll hear more about that later. Appreciate everybody in here. Hit the thumbs up on your way out of the door or in the door. If you're just walking in, and on your way out, please hit the thumbs up and ask me a question. For the first 24 to 48 hours, I will try and answer every question you guys post in the comments. I'll see you all later. Sorry about the Ridley stuff, guys. I know that's going to be a blow to a lot of rosters, and we'll try and navigate this together.